Jackie sat at her kitchen table, staring at the bank statement in her hands. The numbers didn't make sense. They couldn't be real. Her hands trembled as she traced the balance over and over again. But no matter how many times she looked, the money was gone. Her heart pounded. A sinking feeling filled her chest. She grabbed her phone, scrolling through messages, searching for something, anything, that could explain this. But deep down she already knew the truth. And the truth was unbearable. It had started so simply. A message. A conversation. A man who seemed to understand her in ways no one else did. He made her laugh. He made her feel wanted. He made her believe in love again. And she believed him. For months they talked every day. Morning, noon, and night. He sent her gifts. Ordered her favorite food when she was too busy to eat. He spoke about his children, his past, his dreams. And slowly, without even realizing it, she let her guard down. She trusted him. So when he told her about an investment opportunity, something that could secure their future together, she didn't hesitate. She sent the money. And when she saw the numbers growing on the screen, she sent more. It was everything she had worked for, but it didn't matter. Because soon they would have a life together. At least that's what she thought. Then one day he was gone. No calls. No messages. Nothing. Panic set in. She tried to withdraw her money, but the site wouldn't let her. She contacted support, but there was no response. And then, the phone call came. A stranger's voice. A warning. The man she loved wasn't real. She didn't believe it. She couldn't. But the proof was everywhere. His photos? Stolen. His words? Rehearsed. His promises? Empty. Jackie felt her entire world collapse. The love, the dreams, the future she had imagined, all of it was a lie. And now she was left with nothing. A successful woman. A woman who had built a life of her own. A woman who never thought this could happen to her, had lost everything to a man she had never even met. And it all started with a simple swipe. Welcome to True Crime Stories videos. I welcome you, my viewers, and most especially my subscribers, for your support as we keep improving and bringing you daily told and untold true crime stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. The information presented in this video is based on publicly available data and sources. The purpose of this content is to raise awareness about the issues and events that are happening around the world. While we strive to provide accurate information, we may not always capture the exact details of an event. If you were present at the event or have first-hand knowledge, we encourage you to share your perspective and engage in a constructive dialogue. Our goal is to spark meaningful conversations and raise awareness, not to spread misinformation. Jackie Crenshaw had spent her whole life building something solid. A career she was proud of. A home she had worked hard for. She had friends, success, everything people said would make a life feel full. But at the end of the day, when the house got quiet and the lights went out, there was something missing. For years she told herself it didn't matter. That she was fine on her own. But there were moments, little ones, that reminded her how lonely it could be. Seeing couples hold hands at the grocery store. Watching friends celebrate anniversaries. Lying in bed at night, scrolling through her phone, with no one to say goodnight to. Maybe it was time. But dating in your 60s, where do you even start? Friends had tried setting her up before, but nothing ever felt right. And then one evening, after another long day at work, she found herself staring at a dating app on her phone. Be okay. A dating site for black singles. A chance to meet someone new, someone who might understand her. It felt silly at first, but she told herself, what's the worst that could happen? She wasn't looking for a fairy tale. Just someone to talk to. Someone real. She created a profile, uploaded a picture, and hesitated before writing a bio. What do you even say about yourself in a few sentences? In the end, she kept it simple. Hardworking woman looking for something real. Someone kind. Someone honest. And then, she waited. The first few days were slow. A couple of messages that didn't feel right. Some men were too forward, others barely tried. She thought about deleting the app. But then, one message stopped her. It was from him. A man named David. A widower like her. A father of 2 young children. His words were simple but thoughtful. He wasn't just throwing compliments, he was asking about her. About her life, her work, her dreams. And something about him felt safe. They started talking. Just casual at first. A few messages here and there. But soon it became more. Morning texts. Late night conversations. He listened when she vented about a long day at work. He shared stories about his kids, how much he missed his wife, how hard it was being a single father. It felt real. And then came the little things. Sweet good morning messages. Poems. Even prayers together over the phone. Jackie wasn't even that religious, but something about the way he spoke made her believe in something again. He told her she was special. That he had never met someone like her. That maybe, just maybe, they had been brought together for a reason. Jackie had always been careful. She had seen stories about women getting tricked online. But this wasn't that. He wasn't some stranger sending empty words. He remembered the details. He cared. And little by little, she let herself believe it. At first it felt like a dream. The kind of love she had only seen in movies. A man who listened. A man who cared. A man who, for the first time in a long time, made Jackie feel truly seen. David wasn't just words on a screen. He was there, every moment, every day. If she woke up early, there was already a good morning text waiting. If she had a stressful shift at the hospital, he was the first to check in. And when she mentioned offhand that she hadn't eaten all day, a knock came at her door. Pizza. Her favorite kind. Delivered straight to her. Her heart swelled. No man had ever done that for her before. It wasn't about the food, it was about what it meant. He was paying attention. He cared. And it didn't stop there. Little gifts arrived in the mail. A bracelet because he said it reminded him of her. A book because he thought she'd love the story. A handwritten letter telling her how much she meant to him. She hadn't even realized people still wrote letters. Jackie felt something she hadn't felt in years, special. And David had his own struggles. He told her about the pain of losing his wife. How hard it was raising 2 kids alone. Some nights, his voice would break as he talked about them, how much they missed their mother, how much he wished he could give them a better life. Jackie could hear the exhaustion in his words. The loneliness. The weight he carried on his shoulders. He needed her. Not just as a lover but as a partner, a friend, a light in his darkest days. And she wanted to be that for him. But there were things that didn't quite add up. Small things. Things that maybe should have made her pause. They had been talking for months now. And yet, they had never FaceTimed. Not once. She had asked. Gently at first. Then more than once. Each time there was an excuse. His camera was broken. He was busy with work. The kids needed him. It wasn't that he didn't want to, it was just never the right time. And Jackie? She believed him. Because love isn't about doubting. Love is about trust. And David had done nothing but prove he was real. At least, that's what she told herself. Love has a way of making you feel safe. When you trust someone, you don't question their intentions. You don't look for the cracks. You just believe. And Jackie? She believed in David. So when he brought up cryptocurrency, it didn't feel strange. It felt natural. Like a conversation between 2 people planning a future together. It started with an innocent remark. He told her about a close friend, someone who had made a fortune investing. It's the future, he said. The smartest way to build wealth. And I want that for us. Jackie had never paid much attention to investments. She had a retirement fund, a steady job, enough to live comfortably. But David made her think beyond that. What if we could retire early? He said. What if we could travel the world together? Give my kids the life they deserve. The way he spoke, it wasn't about money. It was about dreams. Their future. A life they could build together. And Jackie? She wanted that future too. At first she hesitated. $40,000 was a lot of money. But David reassured her. Just try a small amount first, he said. See what happens. So she did. She wired the money and waited. Hours passed. Then a day. Then another. And then, a message from David. Check your account, love. You won't believe this. She opened the link he sent and her heart nearly stopped. Her money had doubled. No, tripled. There it was, right in front of her. A balance so much higher than what she had put in. Proof that this wasn't just some risky gamble. This was real. This was smart. This was their future, growing right before her eyes. David was thrilled. I told you, he said. This is only the beginning. Jackie felt something she hadn't felt in a long time, excitement. Hope. A sense that maybe she had just made the best decision of her life. And so when David said, let's do more. Let's make this count, she didn't hesitate. She was all in. By now, Jackie's world revolved around him. Every morning began with his voice, every night ended with his messages. It wasn't just love anymore, it was something deeper. A connection so strong that she couldn't imagine her life without him. I'm so proud of you, he would say. You're making smart moves. We're building something incredible together. And Jackie believed him. She had seen the proof, her account growing, her balance soaring. For the first time in her life, she wasn't just earning, she was winning. But winning wasn't enough anymore. She wanted more. More security. More growth. More of the life David had promised. And so, when he said, "You should invest more. The timing is perfect," she didn't hesitate. 40,000 had turned into 100. 100 had turned into 3. It felt unstoppable. Why stop now? She liquidated a portion of her 401k. A safety net she had spent years building, now repurposed for something bigger. Her future with David. 200,000. Then 3. Then more. "You're changing your life," he told her. "You deserve this." And she did. She had worked hard. She had always taken care of others. Now it was her turn. And just when doubt could have crept in, he did something brilliant. He let her withdraw. A small amount. Just enough to feel real. A taste of what was coming. She watched the numbers shift on her screen. Money back in her hands. Her heart pounded with excitement. This wasn't a dream. This wasn't a risk. This was working. David had never lied to her. He had never let her down. And now she had proof. So she sent more. More than she ever thought she would. More than she should have. And she never once considered that she might not get it back. It happened on an ordinary afternoon. Jackie was sipping her coffee, scrolling through messages from David, when her phone rang. An unfamiliar number. She almost ignored it, but something told her to answer. The voice on the other end was calm but firm. "I need to tell you something. The man you're talking to, he's not who you think he is." Jackie's heart skipped. "Excuse me?" she asked, gripping the phone tighter. "He's a scammer," the caller said. "I've seen this before. I don't know how much you've given him, but whatever it is, you need to stop. Now." Jackie felt dizzy. Her mind fought against the words. It wasn't possible. Not David. Not the man who prayed with her, who talked about their future, who made her feel safe. Her hands trembled as she tried to call him. Once. Twice. Again and again. Nothing. Just a cold, lifeless voicemail. Panic gripped her chest. She opened their chat, scanning for signs she might have missed. She sent a message. "David? Please call me. I need to hear your voice." The message sat there unread. Then a sinking feeling. A terrible, crushing thought she had pushed away for months. She opened her laptop, heart pounding. Typed his name into a search bar. Clicked on images. And there, her world shattered. His face. The man she loved. Staring back at her. But next to it, a different name. A completely different life. She clicked on the profile. A family photo. A post about a vacation. A message from a woman, his wife. Her breath came in short gasps. She copied the photo, dragged it into a reverse image search. The results loaded. Dozens of profiles. Different names. Different stories. The same face. Her David was a lie. The man she had trusted with her heart. With her future. With her life savings. Gone. Jackie sat there, staring at the screen, her mind screaming at her to wake up. To undo the past. To take it all back. But there was no undoing this. David had never been real. Jackie sat alone in her living room. No messages lighting up her phone. No calls, no whispered promises. Just silence. The walls felt smaller. The air heavier. She had spent months dreaming about a future filled with love, with happiness, with security. And now, all she had left was an empty bank account, and a heart that felt just as empty. She stared at the paperwork in front of her, bank statements, withdrawal receipts, account balances that had once been full, now drained to nothing. Numbers that once made her feel secure now felt like ghosts of everything she had lost. Her hands trembled as she reached for the last printout. The one that hurt the most. Her 401k statement. Her future, gone in a matter of months. The weight of it all pressed down on her chest. She had built a life of independence, of strength. She had spent years working, saving, planning. And in the blink of an eye, she had lost control of everything. Tears welled in her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not yet. Not now. Because beneath the pain, something else was growing. A fire. A need to do something to make sure this never happened to anyone else. Jackie took a deep breath and opened her laptop. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then, with a shaky exhale, she started typing. She told her story. Every detail. Every mistake. Every warning sign she had ignored. And then she hit post. She didn't expect much. But within hours, the messages started coming. Women. Men. Strangers who had been through the same thing. People who had lost everything to a faceless voice on the other end of a phone. People who had been too ashamed to speak up, until now. Jackie had been a victim. But now she was something else. A voice. A warning. A survivor. The journey to recovery was slow. Some days the pain was unbearable. Some nights she lay awake replaying every moment, wishing she could go back and change just one decision. But there was no going back. Only forward. She learned to live with less. She took on extra work. She leaned on friends who refused to let her fall. And day by day, piece by piece, she rebuilt. She would never be the same. She would never fully get back what she had lost. But she had gained something else. Wisdom. Strength. And the courage to make sure no one else fell for the same lie. Jackie stares at the screen in front of her. Her own words, shared with the world, now echoing back at her. Messages flood in, strangers thanking her, sharing their own stories, some just looking for hope. She takes a deep breath and leans back, the weight of everything pressing against her chest. She had spent months believing in a dream. A love that felt so real, so perfect. But in the end, it was nothing more than a lie. She looks down at her hands, remembering the way they trembled the day she realized it was all gone. Her savings, her future, the life she had built. But money can be replaced. What she lost in trust, in faith, in herself, that was harder to rebuild. She closes her eyes and the words come naturally. A truth she wished she had known before it was too late. If they refuse to show their face, if they always have an excuse, if they ask for money, run. She thought she was special. She thought she was different. But that's the trap. They make you feel chosen, irreplaceable. Until they don't need you anymore. These scams don't just steal money. They steal hope. They steal trust. They steal years of hard work in an instant. And the worst part? They do it without a second thought. Jackie wipes her eyes and sits up straighter. This is why she shared her story. Not for sympathy. Not for pity. But for the next person, the one sitting alone at night, reading sweet messages, believing in a love story that isn't real. If you're watching this and something feels off, listen to that feeling. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't let loneliness make you believe in something that isn't there. Never send money to someone you've never met. Never trust words without proof. And if they refuse to show their face, walk away. Because the truth is simple, real love doesn't come with a price tag. Jackie learned that the hard way. She hopes you don't have to.